Okay, good afternoon. David Downer here from Corfu Unplugged, and it's my great pleasure this afternoon to welcome our very special guest, Paul James. Paul is the author of the new Corfu cookbook, Paul James's Corfu Odyssey.
Thank
Welcome, Paul.
you. Thank you for inviting me on. Your great group. It's a wonderful group.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Paul, you're out in Corfu at the moment. Hot, 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 I believe, still.
Air conditioning's very welcome. I'll be honest.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I came back a couple of days ago, so I know what it's like out there at the moment. So, well, thank you ever so much, Paul, for just giving us some of your time today. We've been connecting over recent weeks, and I find your story and what you're doing quite fascinating and interesting. And so, let's go back a few years. I believe you were born and bred in Birmingham.
I am born in Birmingham. Um, had a lovely, well, got a lovely family around me. So, but yeah, run me through and through. As you
Birmingham.
can tell.
Yeah. For anybody that might be watching this or either live or the recording, we refer in the UK we refer to Birmingham as Brum, and people that come from Brum are Brummies.
There's subtitles on as well later for you.
So, do you want to tell us a little bit about your early life, Paul? Obviously, you've got to where you are today. Did you have a fairly normal upbringing in Birmingham? What sort of aspirations you had?
Yeah, I had a thingy. Like I say, a loving family around me. Three siblings: Alan, Diana, Lorraine. And yeah, loving family growing up. Loved cooking from an early age, but that was probably because when my mum and dad was at work, I used to go next door and I used to call her Auntie Win. She used to look after me, and I used to learn from her actually. It was yeah, it's all a very loving family and people around. And yeah, as I grew up, once again I got to 16, and it was one of these. Even though I love cooking, I was in a generation where you had to, not had to, but you for a job. So I just went off and found myself a job and worked in the factories and things like that. I never really got involved in cooking until later on in life.
Okay, I mean, so at the age of 16, you didn't think, right, I want to be a chef.
Like that, no, like that. I was 16 years old, typical, um, typical lad in West East, well, West East Birmingham, and just enjoying myself and trying to get some money. And that's all it was, money and going out and girls and things like that. But yeah, no aspirations of being a chef, no whatsoever.
Hmm. But you love cooking as a young lad, and then so how did that evolve? To go from being a cooking enthusiast as a young lad to leaving school and doing various jobs, etc. When did the sort of light come on that I want to be a chef?
Yeah, well, what it was, I worked for this company for 10 years, 11 years as a manager. Uh, and then unfortunately, there was a bit of a distance then. Um, and eventually I left, took my redundancy and whatever. And so I thought to myself, right, I'm knocking on a bit now, I'm about 40 odd, and I've got to do something to enjoy life. And that's what I've done. I said, I'm going to go out, go to catering college, get myself a diploma, which I did. And yeah, and after that, I think it was 8 months in the course, and that was it. I started going out and working in restaurants, things like,
And that was locally in Birmingham.
yeah, Birmingham. Yeah, I started doing the restaurants. I've got to be honest, anybody who knows cooking and chefing in the hospitality industry, it is a young person's game. So obviously, there's me thrown in at 40 odd, with a few health issues that crept up on me a bit later on in life. It was hard work. So eventually I was offered a job as a chef, a self-employed chef at a couple of care homes and residential homes in Birmingham. And I just found that so rewarding because, to get, as anybody knows, if you're working in the hospitality industry, very, especially as a chef and in the background, you don't really get a lot of, feedback and no compliments. But with working with the older generation, it was fantastic. Some of them struggled with, dementia and things like that. And to actually go out, go up to their rooms or speak to them, ask them what kind of food do they like, come off the menu a little bit. Obviously, you have to be a little bit careful because of the feeding, different things. But and they used to love like liver and onions, and then for them that meal. And somebody like who's got problems with mental problems and things like dementia, things like. Good, and you can see their eyes light up and they start remembering. And I think the connection between cooking and, remembering different things and different parts of your life all came flooding back to them. I thought it was so really beautiful to watch.
That's fantastic. So where did things go from there then? So you were, that's fantastic, rewarding work. I've worked with elderly people myself in a slightly different industry, in the fitness industry, and yeah, it can be very rewarding. But where did that then take you?
Well, like I say, everything was fine. I was enjoying it. I was all over the place doing these kind of, for the residential homes and the care homes. But then things just started creeping up on me. I started feeling unwell. And because I was like 45, 46, I wasn't getting any younger. And I think some of me past days have started to catch up with me. Forwards to the doctors a lot. And because I was self-employed as well, that didn't help because I had me living with me. So I had time off from work, and all the little bits and pieces that people know. Depression creeps up. It turned it up. And then probably to 2017, I had liver failure, and they only give me one night to live.
Wow.
And that was at the age, I think it was 45, 46.
Goodness me.
And I mean, once again, I highlight the hospitality industry, very stressful, as everybody knows. There is a lot of problems with addiction and things like that, which is something we'll talk about a bit later on because there's quite a big amount of people in the hospitality industry, plus in general society itself. But yeah, from that time, from the November 2016 to February 2017, I just went into a spiral depression because I'd worked since I was 16. I'd never had any time off. I'd found a career which I absolutely loved. The GP says you're not well. You're getting more and more. Like I say, that led to depression, and that led to a comfort, trying to block things out. Now, I never classed myself as an alcoholic, but I was reliant on drink, which I did. And I know a lot of people, I mean, my story has been well spoken about, really. I've carried to work. But like I say, in 2017, I woke up one day, my lad turned around, the youngest lad then, turned around and said, Dad, I was yelling. Yeah, then I've just had liver failure.
Wow. And that was 2017, was it?
2017, so yeah, 7 years ago.
Mm.
And once again, that just knocked everything about again, because I know a lot of people have said, well, you was not working, you had trouble, depression and things like that. Why drink? Well, anybody who's struggling with addiction uses these things as a coping mechanism.
Mm.
But yeah, it definitely opened my eyes to judging people without a doubt. Like I say, yeah, 2017, I was yellow top. It's like looking at Homer Simpson. It really. His son sent me a get well card with Homer Simpson on it. So
you didn't start a new career as a Homer Simpson double.
But as I was when I was admitted, I think it was my sister. The consultants went up to him and said, his liver, it's gone, and we're only going to give him a night to live. And I didn't know that, obviously, till a bit later on in time.
Mm-hmm.
He knew, and yeah, it's double checked them. So, but as you can see, I'm here. Spent 5 maybe weeks in hospital, and I think after a couple, they came up to me because at that time I wasn't eating. I was still obviously alive, but I wasn't 4 stone in weight. But it been a little bit better. I lived in Birmingham, so that was all right. I lost, but the doctor turned around and said, "We're going to send you for like kind of rest because aftercare, and you don't another 6 before you pass away if you're not starting to." And he just left the room, and that was it. And I was just like, I just heard properly what he said. The nurse looked at me, "Okay, you've heard it."
Wow.
And then that's when my family come in, and I think I've highlighted it, documented it well. I had all my family around me. It was a bit like looking at my own funeral where I had visitors come in from all over, like to come to see me. It was just like looking at my own funeral. It was horrendous.
You've never been so popular.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. I could have opened a florist. But, yeah, and I lay there the one night, and I heard the nurses and everything, and they says, we've got a 45-year-old bloke. Let him have as many visits as you want, because he won't live.
Wow.
Just talking about me. I think I mentioned in one of my comments before that it's like that Rocky moment. The Rocky, he's fighting back, and it was just like, they're going to get me. So after another 4 weeks, I was back home. The hospital couldn't believe it, how I'd recovered. Yeah, like I say, really in 6 weeks, I was back home from that point. 2 weeks later, collapsed and had a stroke.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So all that came about, and then, like I say, and this was all in 2017.
Incredible. So one of my favourite sayings is, in every adversity, therein lies a seed to an equal or better benefit.
Exactly.
So what was that benefit? Because within a couple of years, I think it was 2019, you started recipes from my travels. So how did that all come about, Paul?
Yeah, but what it was, with everything that was going on, as I said to my sister Lorraine, it was now 2019. I need to get away because, I fell out of love with cooking. I was bitter, really, to be honest. Okay. The alcohol was partly down to me, but wow. But I just felt bitter about life because I'd had to give up a career that I'd loved. And so I decided to go to Corfu, and it could have been absolute anywhere in the world, anywhere. But I decided to go to Corfu, Kassiopi, and one day on the bus from Kassiopi to Corfu town, beautiful scenery, as you know, on the something I just thought I'm going to do something now, and I said to us, I've got to do it. I've got to start. I mean, starting a blog. I mean, I'm at that age where technology, my technology really is. I was 46 then. The only thing I was used to then was I was struggling with calculators, to be honest. But I thought I'll give this book a lark and this technology a go. And which I did, and started the blog from my travels, which kicked off with just places I'd been, like could be in Vegas, it could be in New York, Portugal, and I just write recipes from where I'd been and just put them up. You know, even if I West Bromwich or Tipton or, and that was the case. And then all of a sudden it just got bigger and bigger. I had more followers. I had 50 followers of what, and now it's just in that space of time it's elevated to a part of my life where I know now that I probably want to turn it into a business, really, and which I've been trying to do. But obviously everything I do, even coming over here, I do it all out my own money. Because you feel my retirement day, so I thought life too short, enjoy it. And hopefully now I'm looking for investors or big parts to carry on what I'm doing.
Interesting. So it's all as someone once said to me, you're providing free entertainment at the moment, but you hope to take it on to other things.
Yeah, and like I think we spoke about before, opportunity knocks.
Absolutely. As Huey Green used to say.
Yeah, so I do.
It could well be the internet connection, Paul, but you are breaking up quite a bit. I don't know whether when you move slightly closer to the microphone, it does seem a little bit better.
Is that better now?
Yeah, that sounds good. So what came next then? Because obviously you've just released your book, but there's some distance between arriving in Corfu and starting the blog, where we are now. So fill me in a bit on that.
Well, I've continued, and I thought I'll write a book. I wrote a book called My Granddad's the Best Chef in the World.
Really?
It's called The Grandfather. That was it, The Grandfather. My Granddad's the best chef in the world. And it was a collection of recipes that I done with my 3 grandchildren. Yeah. Freddie and Summer Ray. They were only little. And we all got in the kitchen making these recipes. It's like doable for adults. It was getting children interested in cooking. You know.
Like you were interested when you were young.
Yeah, like I was interested, yeah. And obviously the kitchen looked like a bomber district when they'd finished, you know, but yeah, so that book come out, and it was forwarded by a top chef, people know, Cyrus Todiwala.
Okay.
Got in touch with me, and he'd done the forward for it. We stayed close as well. And yeah, writing little books here and there, and tried to do them on Amazon and things like that. But this one was actually published by publishers, and it's gone well. But like I say, Corfu's always been there for me, and I knew one day I'd have to write something Corfiot food, the culture in it.
Absolutely. So tell me how did that all come together? Because I believe you are using recipes, like traditional Corfiot recipes from different Corfiot chefs and cooks. Is that the idea?
It is, yeah. Because I mean, as you know, for family, it's always the grandmother, the mother, food, and it was a kind of style I love cooking. Like I remember growing up on stews and casseroles and things like that. And then when you go off and go away from the main towns and into the villages, and you do all these different types of cooking, it was the restaurant, and they'd only put on the rest on the. I don't think it chalkboard, wasn't it? And they put on the chalkboard what they've got on available, what they're getting out of the garden, the place. Or as Corfu, an island, the plate, plate, not really. So I've created recipes all on research. I've added a couple of twists on my take. I've made is it a kebab blackjack with that's like just always all in the book. That got rave reviews and some funny look, but it worked well. It was all the flavours.
That's a great experimentation. Just using your own sort. Let's say it, your own adaptations, a little bit of trial and error, and see what comes up.
And I think it's lovely to hear the old type foods come back, because don't get me wrong, there's always a place for my restaurants, even in Corfu. But sometimes people, they go to these restaurants, they've got octopus, they've got the Vuzo sauce and things like that. Maybe something simple, just with a nice piece of crusty bread to dip in and just fill out. Food, and I think which is what it's all about.
So tell me a little bit about your. So you were on your book tour. In fact, you're coming to the end of your Corfu book tour at the moment. Just tell me a little bit about what you've experienced over the last about a week and a half now, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, before I get to that, I've a special thank you really to my publishers, Business Rise Publishing in Miami, Florida.
Okay.
And Great News and Radio Florida, because they wanted me, they'd seen me bits and pieces of me manuscripts, and they said, "Well, do that for you." But do you fancy having your for Miami? Packing me bags, but no, this is no. It's ordered in Birmingham. So, gave me the opportunity to host 2 radio shows. And obviously published my book as well. So I've got plenty of work with coming up with more books in the pipeline.
Oh,
but this Corfu Odyssey, as I put it, it's lovely to see that I was basically the lovely Kassiopi. So to go to places like Reminisce, Kavos. I mean, Kavos is my opener, I've got to be honest. I thought I'd seen it all. But I was there for the England match, the cup final. So that was lively. Yeah, then I'd come round and up the coast, were probably better than me. There's some beautiful things, sights. I came here to Kassiopi yesterday for 3 days. Then I'll be back down to Reminisce, where the hotel, they've had their chef, they can put some of my meal in the book for their guests. So that's another bonus.
Yeah. It's one of the lovely things about Corfu is you go around the island and nothing's exactly the same, is it? You go from one resort to the next, and it's a completely different experience. And particularly if you go from like east to west or north to south, it's a whole new experience.
With the beaches as well. The beaches are totally
fantastic, aren't they?
ways of cooking it was fantastic, to be honest.
Mm.
And also, I want to say thanks as well to Blue Travel, because they gave me the opportunity to go over to the Blue Lagoon, which is probably,
Yeah, yeah.
and to mainland Greece, and to me that another highlight.
Mm.
I even managed to do, which anybody knows, no. But when I say jumping, never jumped in. I cling to my dear life, and I come away with bruises on my arm where I was clinging on. But at least I've been in the sea.
Terrific, terrific. And so how much longer are you out there for, Paul?
I'm coming back on Thursday.
So a little while left to enjoy the Corfu sun
Right,
and
yeah.
hospitality.
As you can tell, sunburnt, I'm peeling like a banana.
And I know you also do a fair bit of work for charity.
Yes, I do, yeah. Obviously, with my past illnesses, I thought I'd help out different charities. I'm an ambassador for Alcohol Change UK,
Okay.
for the Burnt Chef Project, which is once again another fantastic organisation for chefs, people in the hospitality industry, but struggling with addiction problems. Because as you probably know, the industry is probably up there with one of the top professions where people are obviously struggling with addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Drugs, depression is another thing. So yeah, I do a lot of work for mental health, and also the British Liver Trust, where I created the first. It's going to be a long word now that nobody ever called it, hepatic encephalopathy, and what's the short for now. And what it is, anybody who's got liver problems or liver failure or anything like that, it's the nail causes toxins which get filtered by the liver. And then toxins usually go to the brain and cause another type of dementia. So I started the first one up the British Liver Trust to help people. That's going well. There's about 1,000 members on that from around the world, because I started my own one off as well as worldwide one as well. And that's helping people who are struggling, really, with everything. And like I say, my phone's always open 24/7. Anybody who wants to contact me, just talk about issues, I'm always there to listen to people.
It's fantastic. So what does the future hold for Paul?
The future for Paul. Well, at the moment I've been off. At the moment I do the promoting. I'm promoting Saltfest, which is another festival, food festival, Worcestershire, England, with Simon Berry, who's a businessman over in Worcester. He's asked me to come on board and just do some promoting, which I'm doing. And then he asked me if I wanted to host my own festival of Greek culture, which I'm 25, which is another thing that I'm planning to do, and I'll be hosting that myself along with Simon. And we're trying to bring in businesses, not only from the Greek communities in Great Britain, but all communities around the world, the diaspora, and to get them involved, like Greek dancing, and that I think will be a 3-day. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
One of the biggest in its kind.
Mm-hmm.
Community groups like the group from Birmingham, they're interested. So that's on the card. My website's up and running now, so I've got my own business direct. So anybody who wants business promoted, let me know. We'll put it on the website and promote you and advertise. And a very small, just to pay for the website.
Yeah.
I've got, like I say, a few books going as well. One about the salt as well, and obviously salt from Worcestershire, which is famous for the salt brinery. The pan is then go around the restaurant, salt sample. they'll make some dishes and make a bath. So that area. I want to make some books about the Greek islands, but that'll be done. Really, just start on doing things. But
Well, it sounds as though you're well. We obviously know you're a very, very busy fella, and you can be even more busy in the future. It sounds.
I should be retired. But I thank my lucky stars and God and whatever. If nobody prays, I do, because I know. You got to. I believe in that. I mean, like I say, from one night I had left, I was told I got to live, and just to go out and help people as well. Help people. Like I say, I've been doing it for 5 years free of charge. But the other things like manufacturing salts and things like that, direct, but I probably will be charging a minimal thing in the future. But going around and doing what I'm doing now.
I had one of our members who couldn't make this afternoon ask me a question, Mary Head, and she said, can you ask Paul if he's got a recipe for chili baked feta? Chili baked feta.
With the chili flake. One in my book, actually. I'm not going to let get that. Once again, it's obviously feta's quite durable. I use the chilies, I marinate it in chili flakes, honey, and then I'll wrap it in some phyllo and just drop it. So you've still got the bite of the chili, but with the sweetness of the honey, and then obviously of the phyllo pastry.
Sounds lovely. So where do people buy your book from, Paul? Well, so people are interested in finding out more about what you do, about your various projects, interested in checking out your book. So where would they go? And we can obviously provide links afterwards.
I wanted us to see a broad range of things I do for the news. I mean, I write for newspapers, like a food and travel column. They want to my Linktree account, Paul James Linktree, type in that. I've also got digital business card, which I think props, or I don't know what the whole thing is, but I quite easily pack all that onto it. Yeah, and obviously I've got my business directory website, which is www.rfmt.com.
Okay. Well, we'll make sure we add all the links to the video, and so you get the people interested can check you out.
Like I say, it's nice to have it's a bit like the old yellow pages or the old phone book, the business doc.
Yeah.
I can see the business like I've got this place I'm stopping now, which is the luxury home in Kassiopi, which is done. It's beautiful. And if they go on there, they can have a direct link to their website, where it is, reviews, it's everything.
Yeah, sounds fantastic. Well, Paul, really appreciate that. That's your story is so interesting, and I always love a story where, as I say, someone's come from an adversity, and one night left to live, to what you're now doing, what you have now achieved, and what your plans are for the future is absolutely fantastic. So big thank you, Paul. Really appreciate you giving us some time this afternoon, and enjoy the rest of your time in Corfu.
Bye to me. Take care.
Fantastic. Thank you, Paul.